Hello again, viewers. Welcome back to Ray Views. I am Ray. And today I have for you a review which I think is super important because the show is super important. Today I'm reviewing Sex Education. This review will cover both seasons 1 and 2. Disclaimer. All characters in the show are purely fictional. Any resemblance to real people or entities, alive or dead, past or present, is purely coincidental. The following feature contains an excessive use of the word sex. If any of the viewers are tied to social awkwardness that the enunciation of the word sex causes their faces to flush and their hands to cover said face in embarrassment, I solemnly urge them to turn away now. Well, look at you. Congratulations on making past that little speed bump. Let's dive right in. Season 2 of Sex Education dropped last week, and after I spent my Friday night, which my mother insists on calling Saturday morning, binging it, I was really excited to bring you this review. Before I get into the intense stuff about the show, I want to tell you something interesting about its setting. Most viewers are likely to be confused about when or where it is set. The whole show has a slightly 80s feel to it, but it is not set in the 80s, and there are plenty of clues to that, the most prominent being smartphones. Now you may see long lockers in schools and no uniform casual attire for the students, both of which are more popular in American schools. But all the characters have a predominant British accent. So is it set in Britain? No, not really. Sex Education is set in a rather fictional place and time, which seems to have its own unique aura to it. It has borrowed attributes and elements from various places and times, but the whole ambience of Sex Education is exclusively its own, and thereby fictional. I think the makers probably felt that making it fictional and still leaving it cleverly unnamed generalizes it in a poetic way. Because if something is nowhere in particular, it could be anywhere, everywhere, and sex is everywhere. The most important things about Sex Education is its characters and the social issues it discusses using those characters, followed closely by the drama this whole process produces. That's it. That is literally the whole show. It is a show about high school kids discovering themselves and their sexuality, but the path of self-discovery is seldom a straight one. So many people spend half their lives feeling something's off with them, but cannot seem to put their finger on it, and the main reason for this is lack of information. If no one tells you what you're feeling is normal, and the society shuns your feelings as immoral or unethical, you're likely to feel too ashamed of your own feelings and afraid of being labeled as an outcast if you ever choose to confess them. And that is the worst thing ever. Lucky for us, a topic as intense as that and a bunch of characters struggling with it is what births drama. Sex Education subtly educates you about dozens of important sexual topics like asexuality and pansexuality. It delves into the importance of engaging in safe sex and sexually transmitted diseases, and this, I think, is super important. But the so-called education is not just limited to sex. Because let's face it, peer pressure and rumors are two of the worst diseases one is likely to catch in high school, and Sex Education deals with them both. Not to mention the part where parents sometimes force their dreams upon their children until the children can barely tell the difference between their own dreams and their parents. Sex Education dips into that. Along with that, it also shows characters dealing with some of the worst conditions with their parents, including, but not limited to, drug abuse. Now this is a much more widespread issue and is discussed far too lightly, and I'm glad they gave it the attention it deserved. Another thing I was really happy Sex Education brought up was the severity and the after effects of sexual assault on the victim. Post-traumatic stress disorder is real, people. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. One topic which is mentioned in bare whispers, but I'm really glad Sex Education gave voice to, is the complete lack of sexuality in some middle-aged couples, and the effects it has on them. Sex Education also teaches you the importance of loving yourself, and how difficult it is for a person to love someone who doesn't love himself. I think season 1 of Sex Education was more Otis Maeve oriented drama, with most of the other characters in supporting roles, dealing with their own issues, but still far in the backdrop. Season 2, however, changed everything. The topics discussed through it became far more intense, and all those supporting characters shone brighter and evolved as they strived to discover themselves. The Otis Maeve ship still sails the seas though. But I have to admit that despite great and important topics being discussed and dealt with drama through the course of the show, which is essentially genius, a lot of actual drama through the course of the show is full of major cliches. And it's possible that they sometimes sacrificed on a more interesting plotline just so they could bring another important topic to light. It is a thought I can respect as an individual, but cannot appreciate as a TV show lover. But I would still love to watch what more they have in store, both important topics and drama. I rate Sex Education a 7.5 on 10. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and a comment if you agree with my opinion. Subscribe to my channel for more content and do share it with your friends. I'll see you next time.